Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
From Eden Hazard! Kai Havertz in the Champions League final! Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him, but it's swept in by Hakim. Matic with the ball driver! Matic takes the net off! Hat-trick hero! Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game!
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode...
Did you know, listener, that FC Noah used to be called FC Artsac? And they rebranded the club to FC Noah in reference to the biblical Noah, whose ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat, traditionally identified with the Mount Ararat in Armenia. Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in that virtual room filled with every lion. Oh, they're all here. I've got Ollie, I've got Berth, I've got Chris. The Friday show on the rightful day. It should be the Friday that it is. It's on a Friday. And of course, what are you looking forward to this weekend? We'll skip Ollie because he's having a quiet one.
Why do you even ask me this? I'm actually glad. If you could start skipping me on this question, I'd appreciate it.
You know what? I'm going to let the team down here because normally I have something, and this weekend I've got nothing. I'm actually having a quiet one this weekend.
One of us.
Ollie, I'll be honest. Like, people come to me and expect big things from my weekends. I've not got big things this weekend, so
I'm not sure anyone expects big things when they're talking to you, but
wow.
That's... What? Okay. Chris, help us, save us.
No, I can't. You know,
bloody hell!
How do people listen to us and think, "Wow, this is exciting"?
guys.
Ollie's always having a quiet one. Berth's normally the one who's doing something out the ordinary, like golf or skydiving or whatever.
Always.
Yeah, going to see the WWE or something.
Yeah, and then I just do football all weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Mikey normally talks about NFL as well, which is
you're all in.
I'm starting to think we should just drop this question.
First of all,
I'll bring something on Monday that I did over.
Well, for all of you,
congratulations for being shit.
Me, I am carrying this team. I will be in my kitchen baking up a batch of brownies. Recipe is from one of my favourite chefs and food writers, Nigel Slater, and I'll also be tackling this week's Great British Bake Off Technical, which it's Spotted Dick. So, yeah, everyone loves that.
To be fair, like I said, how do people listen to this and find this interesting and exciting? I'm joking, of course. I'm joking.
Of course, I'm here yet again to recommend to the listener some games of the weekend because they may want to spend their time watching. You know, they might. First up, we've got the Sheffield Derby. United are playing Wednesday. That's tomorrow. It's Sunday. That's Sunday lunchtime. It's
always a good game.
Then you've got Inter versus Napoli on Sunday night. But I think the biggest and the best double whammy, you just got to turn your attention to Portugal because 6:45 UK time. Ruben Amorim ends his tenure as Sporting Club de Portugal boss, where it all began at Braga, and then straight after that you've got Benfica Porto.
Oh no, it's no Sheffield Derby.
No, I'll be watching none of those. I'll watch both Chelsea games, and that is it. So
NFL this weekend, Mikey.
Look, I'm looking forward to the Steelers taking on the Commanders. That should be fun. At the start of the season, you wouldn't have said that.
Who are the Commanders? Sorry,
Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, Washington DC.
Okay. When have they had an NFL team? I'm a bit out of the loop on this.
They had another team. They had the Washington football team, who then were renamed to the Commanders. And before the Washington football team, they were a name that was changed because it is also it's an offensive term. It's an offensive term. So that's why. There you go, Berth.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
But before we dive into the news, I've got a Shevva shout out. Oh, I've got one it's just the one, but it's a bloody good one. It's from Paddy. And they've put, well, guys, massive Chelsea supporter from Ireland, been supporting the Blues since I'm 5 and usually make a few games a year at the Bridge. Recently moved to Canada and games are awkward with time difference. Love the pod. It's what you would talk about with a Chelsea mate. Keep it up. Thanks.
Cheers, Paddy. Appreciate it. And big up to Paddy. Ireland.
Yeah,
big up,
and
Paddy.
Canada. We're still number one over there, I think, as Chelsea pod. So I was like, yes,
Yeah, big up
I
Canada.
love that. Bloody love that. But as well, Ireland, just equally as important. We love everyone. I mean, we really do, because it's still surreal when you think about people all over the world listening to us. So it's like, wow. If they're still listening after you guys let the team down with your moments, well, what you're looking forward to this weekend?
No, they time stamped that bit.
Yeah, they
Just say, they just
This is
skipped
still
that
done.
bit. Yeah.
Oh my word! Right, guess news time. Let's check out what you may have missed in the elevator of Chelsea news. Barcelona are looking for reinforcements in midfield, and Enzo Fernandez has made his way back onto their radar. FIFA regulations for the Club World Cup in the US next summer have been published. They include clubs having to field strongest teams, a fine of at least £445,000 for any club that pulls out. Owners can't have shares in more than one club. Teams have to arrive at base camp 3 to 5 days before first game. The provisional squad can be between 26 and 50 players, so we'll be fine. The tournament squad can be 26 to 35 players, less fine. FAs can open special transfer window 1 to the 10th of June. Clubs can add maximum of 2 players to the squad between the 27th of June and the 3rd of July. Players can only play for only one team, and the prize and the money is to be confirmed. Former Chelsea striker Hernan Crespo has resigned as the manager of Al Ain. Chelsea are looking to add fresh attacking quality to the squad. They're looking at Ryan Shirky again. And finally, Hugo Lloris explained in an interview this week how the gift of a luxury watch made him realise Spurs would accept second best. I've got it here. Before the final against Liverpool, of course, Daniel Levy pulled them all together to announce that with the support of a sponsor, we would each receive a luxury aviator watch from the club. At first, we were excited to see the elegant boxes. Then we opened them and discovered that he'd had the back of each timepiece engraved with the player's name and Champions League finalist 2019. Finalist. Who does such a thing at a moment like this?
Wow.
I still haven't gotten over it, and I'm not alone. If we'd won, he wouldn't have asked for the watch's back to have winner engraved instead.
Just sums them up, doesn't it?
It does. It really, really does. God almighty.
Man. Champions League finalist.
That honestly, if you're a Spurs fan, you just go through it all the time.
Every
week something happens that makes you look shit.
We have been in 3, and we don't talk about the one we didn't lose because it don't matter. We don't care.
Yep.
There is something I've got in the news to talk about, but have you got anything from that grabbed your attention at all?
I mean, the Enzo Fernandez thing, we just have to talk about, really, don't we? I mean, come on.
Do we have to? We do like 20 minutes on Enzo every episode.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know that's why I thought, you know, it might as well mention it. I mean, if Barca was to come in January and say, look, here's 70 mil for Enzo Fernandez, would you take it? Or...
Buy your hand off for 70 million? Are you joking?
I think that's how much. I think that's how much they'll pay.
I think
I'll take 7.
Chris would take a packet of crisps. I think about anything over 55, 60 million would probably about do it.
So 70, yeah.
That is a number over 55, 60, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, good counting. You know what? TBR Football. This is what I'm going to talk about. TBR Football drops an exclusive this week. Who? No, I don't know who they are either. But enough Chelsea YouTubers and personalities are talking about the article. So look, we're jumping on that bandwagon. Due to Maresca's consistent lineup choices, some high-profile players are seeing less playtime, raising concerns about their roles. Christopher Nkunku, Chelsea's high-profile signing, is worried about limited chances due to injuries and the new signings of Palmer, Mudryk, Felix and Neto. Someone needs to let them know that only 2 of those are new, but whatever. Nkunku is committed, apparently, to fighting for his place and won't push for a January move, but may assess his future in the summer. Enzo and Benoit Badiashile are also concerned about playtime, though Chelsea is content with the squad depth. I mean, for me, some won't like this, but if any of those don't want to fight for their place, pack your bags and go. It's not a summer camp, you know, it's Chelsea. That if you've got a I should start by default mentality, not in this squad or on this pitch. You've got to earn it, and that's how it is.
Yeah, there's only very few players in this squad at the moment who can be demanding to start, I think, and none of those players are one of them.
And let's not pretend that players don't turn things around, because you got Cucurella. You know, last season he hustled his way back into the lineup. He showed quality. He showed why he should be there. And them 3 names, every time that they sort of put on the Chelsea shirt for the A team, they're about as effective as a pogo stick in quicksand. I mean, Nkunku, he was invisible against Newcastle when he played. I think that was was that in the league or was it in the cup?
No, it was in the cup, I think.
But he was invisible there in the B team for that, and he's only looked decent against Conference League level teams. That don't scream Chelsea starter to me, and I bloody love him. I thought he was a top signing, but you've got to prove it. When he's played, he hasn't lit it up. I don't know what you guys think, Chris Berth.
I agree that it's a really difficult balance though, and this was always going to happen. There is a reason why no club has 2 11s because it doesn't work. Because if you're an elite level footballer, and especially if you're someone like Nkunku or Joao Felix for that matter, Bundesliga top goal scorer, Joao Felix a £100 million transfer at one point.
Yeah.
It's not great for your profile to be classified as a Chelsea B team player.
No, yeah, you're right.
Even if you're playing in, if you're playing in the Conference League, but it's a rotated team, but obviously there's still going to be some first team players in there because you wouldn't have 2 11s. It's less obvious. But you think about the team that's been playing in the Conference League now, all of those players are labelled B team players.
Yeah, you're right.
There's only a couple that have like a bit of an overlap, like Enzo and Cucurella, but there aren't many.
Yeah, like imagine being a £65 million signing and then being labelled a B team player. There is going to be problems in January and especially in the summer with this squad building that we've done. There will be a lot of departures because there's this notion of we need 2 top class players for every position is brilliant on paper. But in reality, when you're dealing with real humans who have emotions and feelings and not a computer game, it doesn't work. And these players, and it only takes a couple of these players to get pissed off. And then before you know it, you've got a group in the dressing room who aren't happy, who aren't training properly, who are causing problems for the other players, causing problems for the coaches. It becomes a real problem then. And then that's when you get a dressing room like Man United, where you have a consensus of players who are like, I don't like this manager, let's try and get rid of him. That's when problems start.
That's the thing, though, with what you said about lots of departures, Chris. That's part of the course for us at the moment. We signed a lot of players, we sell a lot of players. That's part of our
it's normal. Just Chelsea.
But the issue is with a lot of these players that you're talking about there, Nkunku, Felix will be the same, Badiashile, Disasi. We're not going to make any money on these players.
This
We're going to
is
make
the
a
thing,
loss,
though.
if anything.
This is the thing, though, and to be fair, Chris, you made a good point. Like, on paper, it's absolutely fantastic having 2 squads. I think every team in the league would love to have 2 different squads for like cup competitions and league competitions. The problem is keeping everyone happy, and you just can't. It's physically impossible to keep everyone happy. And Chris, me and you played 11-a-side Sunday League plenty of times. Even having 15 in some occasion, you can be on the bench. You're annoyed, and that's just one game. You can start the week after. Imagine these players, and like you said, the B team. That they must be thinking, especially someone like Nkunku, you must be thinking, I'm better than this. And Nkunku is better than a B team player. He really is.
Oh, yeah.
He could walk into a top 6 side. I mean, every top 6 side would buy Nkunku. And Felix, I think, every top 6 side would probably buy Felix. Now, this that they would. I think they would. Let's be honest. If you're a Tottenham and Arsenal, I think Arsenal would buy him, definitely. The problem is, though, it's impossible to manage, and you're not going to look good as a manager. And this just causes problems in the dressing room. It's all good, like having a starting 11 in the league, and like if you bring someone off the bench, like an Nkunku, for instance, he's gonna be pissed off coming off the bench. Even though Nicholas Jackson is smashing it every week, and he is, and Kyle Palmer's smashing it every week. If you're Nkunku or a Felix or a Mudryk, you're thinking, hold on, I've just scored 2 goals, and now I've not got a chance at all. Like, I'm not coming on off the bench. Like, what is this? What is this? It's impossible to manage. It is literally impossible.
And do you know what? It's even harder, I think, for us because we're not at the level that we was before. You know, you look at Real Madrid, who are arguably the most glamorous club in the world that every player wants to go to. Even they don't have 2 11s. You look at their bench, it's crap. They've got a good 11, and then they've got 3 or 4 decent players on the bench, and then it's normally younger players because you can't have 2 11s. It won't happen.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But the thing is as well, you look at use Real Madrid as an example, and it's a great example. This is Chelsea at the minute. We are, unfortunately, I think we are capable of it, but unfortunately at the minute, we're a top 6 team, not a top 4 or challenging for the title team. And that's just a fact at the minute. And it's okay if you're on the outskirts of a Champions League team or a league going for the title. If you're a top 6 team and you're on the outskirts of that team, that don't look good at all. So you will lose money straight away.
Yeah. Right. Well, talking of the B team, match report time, because Chelsea, well, they took on FC Noah in the Conference League. Oh, it's 8-0. The goals went in 2 by 2. Hurrah, hurrah. The goals went in 2 by 2. Mudryk scored and Felix got 2. And they all went into the net, but they probably won't play in the Prem. Yeah, because Chelsea 8.
That was really good, by the way.
Yeah, that's smooth. That is so smooth.
Chelsea 8. F8. Yes, you have to have the word 8. We scored that many. FC Noah 0. Winners and losers. And of course, we kick off with the winners as always. Who have you got? And how many have you got?
I've got 3 and 3. I've got 3 and 3.
I've got 6 winners. No, I'm just.
That is.
No, wow.
I'm joking.
That is ridiculous. That is
no
ridiculous.
winners from me.
No,
I was about to kick off then.
I know. I was just trying to pick off Chris. I've got 4.
You have.
I got 3 and 2.
Even that's annoyed me.
I got 3 and 2.
I've got 3 and 3.
Wow. Oh, you know what? Oh, do I do it? You know what? Mine's quite a nice little easy one. I'll go with debutantes, because we saw the debuts for Tyreek George and Sam Raksaki. So naturally, both of them are going to be sold for pure profit in 18 months. But the latter didn't get a chance to make much of an impact. But the fact, he got his debut, that'll make him feel part of the team. It'll make him feel part of the club, which is, it's always good to see. And Tyreek, though, on the other hand, he showed that he's got a bit about him. He was pretty good as a dribbling, his passing. He's got that technical ability of perhaps a number 10.
Should have had one to watch for sure.
Yeah, he's one to watch going forward. It was just nice to see academy players play instead of.
He's on my list, to be fair.
Why is he on your list, Chris?
Although he didn't get a goal involvement, mainly because Joao Felix decided to clear it instead of score. I actually really liked how positive he was. I think when you get a lot of young players normally come into the first team and make their first start like that, they often play within themselves. And they just, it would have been easy for him to just get the ball and give it to Nkunku or give it to Felix and let them do stuff and just be there and be part of it. He was really positive, I thought. Every time he got the ball, he wanted to go and try and beat the fullback. He wasn't scared to give the ball away, wasn't scared to make a mistake, kept demanding the ball, kept getting on it. Thought actually his sort of mentality was really impressive. And the stuff he did with the ball as well was good. Like, there was a few good runs. He put a few good balls in, played some decent sort of incisive passes. I just thought it was a really good performance from him, despite not having any stats to back it up.
Yeah, you know what? I don't mind. He's not a winner for me, to be fair, but I can see both your points, and I thought he was very impressive. I know the opposition weren't great, but I thought he was positive in everything he did. He should have got an assist. Always looked to get a shot away. Always looked to beat his man. And for me, that's just real positive, and it's good to see him start as well, because he's a real talent as well.
Yeah, I'd just like to correct. I've got 4 winners, but you'll see why. So it's fine.
What is going on with this show? Like, the format is gone.
It's still 6.
Gone.
Still 6. 4 and 2. Come on.
I don't care if
quick
it's
maths.
like,
come on.
You have to have 3 and 3. That's the rules.
Right, Berth, who's your first winner then?
You know what? I mean, I don't give it him often, but I've got to give it him, to be fair, when he gets a chance. That's Mykhailo Mudryk.
Yeah, he's one of mine.
He's sort of one of mine.
This is a real hard game to judge, isn't it, really? Let's be honest. We talked about it last night in the group chat, but It weren't the best opposition, to be fair. It weren't. But you have to give credit where credit's due. Very good goal that he did. Always looked to beat his man again. Very positive from him. And this season, to be fair, he has looked okay whenever he's come on or whether he's played. He's actually not looked too bad, and his decision making has got a lot better, and he's got a lot more comfortable on the ball. And I liked his celebration. He got a lot of talk on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. And I liked it. It was like sort of that, yeah, I did just score, but you know what? I should be doing this against this team. And I respect it. And he never looks like he doesn't look like he moans. He never looks like he doesn't want to be there. He always tries his best. And I can't knock that from him. And yes, I have knocked him in the past, but I have to give him his flowers today because it was a great goal yesterday and he did play well.
Confidence player, but
yeah, I think he's the player Maresca's improved the most.
100%. I agree with that. I would say, yeah.
He's looking more confident, and like you said, Beth, I think his decision making is getting better. I said it in the group chat yesterday. He actually doesn't look bad anymore.
He doesn't look brain dead, does he?
Yeah, no, he's still not sort of anywhere near the level where you're thinking, oh, we could have a player worth 80 million on our hands. But he's definitely getting better. He might be one of those slow burn players who hits his peak at like 28.
Well,
we would have sold him by then. But
it's an interesting one though, because he's played a lot less football. Like I think he's something like however many years he is older than like Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi has played like twice as many minutes as he has in his career. So there's
mad that.
But players are kind of only as old as the amount of minutes they've played is what I'm getting at. So like in those kind of terms, he's still kind of young, and so I think you're right. I think he'll peak late. It was a winner for me because actually I don't think it doesn't matter which goalie was in goal, because I think if he did that in a game, I think he'd score it. An objectively good goal, if you know what I mean in that way. So it deserves his flowers.
Ollie, who's your first winner?
Well, my first one was Mudryk. My second one is goals. Because everyone loves a good stat pad sesh, don't we? 8 goals, 8 of them, 6 of them. What was it? 5 or 6 of them in the first half. 6 of them, I think. 6 in the first half.
6.
Outrageous. It's always nice when we just go and absolutely put someone to the sword, no matter who it is. And lots of goals, lots of celebrating, lots of happy. Just nice to see it.
Right, I will do my second winner, and it's technically Mudryk, but it's a treble to watch. Mudryk, Felix, and Tosin. I think they're the ones that deserve consideration for Premier League minutes in the future after their performances. And before anyone says it was only FC Noah, I want to point out that all 3 were miles above their teammates, which is what I'm basing the judgment off. And I said consideration. I'm not saying they're starting. Just want to make that clear. But all 3, they were pretty decent. Yep.
Yeah, they were. They
would do. Someone's going to go, you didn't pick Enzo. I don't care. Chris, who's your second winner?
Mark Yu.
Yep, one of mine.
Yeah, I like it.
What a press. What a press.
Rich, you know what? He's so good at pressing. That he actually could be really useful in certain games. In tougher competitions than this absolute farce of a competition we're in. He took his goal really well.
It was a good goal. It was.
It was for a professional football. It was an easy finish, but he took it really confidently. Yeah. One touch out of his feet, strode onto the ball, swept it into the corner. There was no second guessing himself.
Also, deliberately played it over the keeper where he knew the keeper's leg was going to be. A lot of players put that on the floor and the keeper saves it with his leg.
The only thing I felt really sorry for him was getting hooked at halftime.
Yeah, didn't deserve that. Thought that good performance.
But again, do you know why he got hooked at halftime? Because we've got to try and keep Nkunku happy, Dewsbury Hall happy. So he got hooked just to try and get Nkunku up front to get a goal and to bring on the most pointless signing in Chelsea history, Keenan Dewsbury Hall. I thought he was having a really good game, and I think he deserved to play the whole game and see if he could get another goal, better for confidence. And you would have seen a little bit more of him in terms of his actual development. I just think playing him for 45 minutes seemed a little bit pointless. If you're going to take him off at half time, don't start him. You might as well just left Nkunku up front. It just seemed a bit pointless.
it sounds a bit silly, but I feel like Gu's not a striker. I know he scored a goal, but I feel like he's a ball-winning midfielder. That's what it makes me feel like when I watch him play.
I actually agree with Ollie because I actually think on the ball he's actually genuinely quite awful, and that sounds really harsh. But
especially for someone who's come from Barca.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, he took his goal really well yesterday, but I actually think on the ball he isn't the best in the world.
I think we found our Gallagher replacement, boys.
Pressing wise, as a striker, he is actually fantastic. So can't knock it.
Yeah, right, Berth. Who's your second one then?
I've got to give it Joao Felix. To be fair, it's a real hard one to like judge really this game, but I'll give it Joao Felix.
They all come with an asterisk, don't they? All these winners come with an asterisk because we're playing a pub team.
It's a shame though. Like he could have had a hat trick if he, could score a tackle.
Could have had 5.
Yeah, but you know what? He can be so classy on the ball as well. That's the thing with Joao Felix, and he can be he's a real great option to bring off the bench, and that's probably not great for him. But like like we said on paper, it's actually fantastic bringing Joao Felix off the bench. And he took his first goal was brilliant. Oh, that little dink is really good. Solanke got a lot of praise for that sort of goal the other day. He got nothing yesterday. But yeah, he has got such a class about him. So I have to, like Mudryk, I have to give him flowers when he deserves it, and he did deserve it last night because, he could have took that penalty off Nkunku as well to get a hat trick, but again, he didn't, and he could have done that the other day as well. But yeah, I do like Felix.
Do you know what? I was impressed with like some of the sort of incisive passes that he played. Like, especially second half, I thought he played a couple of really nice passes into Nkunku to set him up for chances that it doesn't really matter who you're playing against. Those passes would hurt anyone. Like, there was one little reverse pass that he played, which was fantastic. Again, a bit like Nkunku, I think Felix is just someone who I don't think he'll ever be that good for us because he's someone who has to play.
Ollie, second winner.
I'm down to fourth winner now because I had you and Mudryk and goals. So my last winner is headers because we don't score many headers.
We do not.
Team. We scored 2 by 2. It's nice to see it, especially from set pieces as well. Like because we have the worst set pieces maybe ever. Really nice to see it. One from Disasi, one from Tosin. Who'd have thought? Taller players score headers. It just a nice thing to see. Yes, actually score some headers for a change.
So on that, I will pull my third winner, and it was set pieces because it was a standout positive. Because, like you said, we scored 2 headers because of set pieces. If we could replicate that, the level that we took those set pieces in with our regular 18 players, even without the towering physicality of players, like, hang on, who do we have play? We had Tosin, he's tall, Vega, Disasi, Badiashile. Then we're could be something. It's a tall order, literally. But if you can get close to that level with the first team squad, that'd be huge. I mean, we've got a bloody set piece, coach, for God's sake.
I tell you why, though, that won't happen. Because we play against proper footballers in real games. We scored 2 headers. Disasi and Tosin didn't leave the ground.
Yeah,
well, Tosin had to duck his head to get onto the
down.
ball.
Yeah. They were unmarked.
That completely unmarked. True. Didn't have to leave the ground. Against any other team that we play this season, we don't score from those corners.
You get a boot in the chin for trying to head that in the Prem.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, who wants to say their third winner? Because Ollie seems to be all out. So it's Berth or Chris. Who's going?
I mean, my third winner is just basically Maresca for the simple fact that he's got this team. He could have been any manager really, as managing Chelsea at this point, but in this competition, we just look levels above, don't we? And
we are.
We just look, that's what I mean. We just look so superior, and it just makes the manager look good. It makes the players look good. So, I mean, he's got a second squad to play with. You just have to give it to Maresca, just in fact, because he just scored 8 goals. So he set the team out.
We've played a lot of shit teams, haven't we, in the last however many years, and we haven't scored 8 goals in a long time.
I don't think we've played a team as bad as them, though.
No, true. That is true.
That is also true.
Play Barrow. I mean, it's probably equivalent, isn't it?
Oh, I think Barrow beat Noah.
You know what? I actually think it'd be close.
Wow.
Do you think Barrow stormed the Armenian League?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they may well.
Chris, who's your final winner then?
I've got ruthlessness. Because first half, I mean, despite the fact that the team we was playing was absolutely god awful, easily the worst team I've ever seen us play. You do have to put your chances away, and this team has been guilty before of missing chances, but we didn't really miss, except for Felix. We didn't really miss a chance. You know, we had chances on goals and we put them away. I do think come the end of the season, though, we are going to have to take Conference League goals out of the equation when we talk about top scorer. Because Nkunku is our top goal scorer at the minute, but there's no way he's had a better season than Palmer and Jackson.
But the thing is, it's skewing the statistics massively. So let me hit you with something, right? We've scored 44 goals this season. In the 22-23 season, we scored 38 across the whole season. So we've already eclipsed that. And we're not even at Christmas. So, you know, that's what I mean. It's skewing it because we score 4 goals a week in the Conference League minimum. So I don't know. When we come to calculate it at the end of the season, we're probably gonna have like 60 odd goals just coming from the Conference League alone.
I feel privileged that I get to say the final winner, because my final winner was Marcus Bettinelli, because he brought the coffees at halftime. Everyone looks happy about their order on the bench. He is the true winner. He's the biggest winner for me. And I love that Sky Sports had to make a point of it. It was like, being the third choice goalkeeper of the top Premier League team.
It effectively is being the tea lady, isn't it? Like
you do nothing apart from turn up to work, and you get paid a fuck ton of money. I mean,
you turn up to work, you're paid to, you know, sort of effectively get you know, like in incredible shape with your mates.
Yeah, and everyone loves you.
Yeah,
and everyone loves you, and then all you've got to do is get a coffee every now and then. Top lad.
Exactly. I'm going to let Chris kick off losers, because I think we're all going to find some maybe a bit different. But Chris, who's your first loser?
The defense
didn't look good.
Do you know what? It's so weird because don't get me started. Do you know what? The amount of people who kept saying, "Oh, keeping a clean sheet was a positive." Not really.
No.
First clean sheet since Barrow.
Oh no!
Exactly, and no one cared about that one either. They don't count. They don't count. Like, if these players, like some of these think about this. Some of these defenders, and probably Jorgensen, probably have a clean sheet bonus in their contract. I wouldn't pay it them. I would say no.
You get that taken off
Easiest
your
money
money
they've ever made. For sure.
You are not getting a clean sheet bonus against FC Noah. And the scary thing is that actually they should have scored 3 goals. 3 goals they should have scored.
I can see your point there.
The one right towards the end off the set piece, our defending of set pieces, by the way, is horrendous. Where they had 4 players completely unmarked at the back post. It's like, what is happening here? Defensively, we are not far away from turning up for a game and getting an absolute hiding of someone. If we turn up into a game and someone is on it, we could quite easily ship 4 or 5, because both our A team and our B team off the ball are horrendous. Yeah,
it does need to improve. It does need to improve defensively, because I'm remembering what you're referring to, and I just expected a goal to go in, because I don't know whether it was because we were 8-0 up at the time and we just sort of switched off like we've won.
They should have scored at 0-0.
Yeah, actually, they had the first couple.
They had the first real chance of the game. Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen an 11 goal thriller. They don't come around very often.
Right.
I'll go next. I've got a great one.
Go on, Berth.
Go on.
My first loser is someone called Chris Adams.
Oh, no!
Hang on. Me too.
No! My word.
Yeah, only in this stratosphere can a team win 8-0. The team that you support win 8-0, and someone still beat the moodiest bastard of all time, and that is our own Chris Adams.
Yeah, we really want to hit the nail on the head here when we say that Chris doesn't play a part for the show. He really is like it.
No, yeah, no, yeah.
It's
What you
not-
see on
not a
this podcast, what you listen on this podcast is exactly what you get off the podcast as well.
I could see Chris's points at times.
It's not a real game.
It was definitely a real game. We played
No, it weren't.
90 plus minutes. We did play them.
But the thing is, right? I remember Chris saying, I can't remember if it was on the show or not. I remember him saying the exact words, something to the effect of, "If we don't score at least 5 goals against these guys, it's a shit result."
He did say that.
And we scored 8,
You know what?
and he's still
I think
miserable.
it was 6. I actually think it was 6, and he
It
still
was
fucking
6.
was the moodiest bastard of all time.
And no, I said if we don't score 6, it's a shit result. I never said this was a shit result. I just said it was a pointless one.
I can see. You know what? I will jump on with my first of one of 2 losers. Underwhelming performers. Because I said pre-game that this game against FC No. So I'm channeling my inner Chris here. I said that this game against FC No was actually huge for anyone in that starting 11. Not to impress, but to just not look average or poor.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them did not heed my call. I've got Christopher Nkunku scored twice, but he wasn't impressive. He missed so many chances. And based on how many FC No were just allowing us to have, he was bound to score eventually. And one was a penalty.
You had a better game.
Was dubious. But we didn't buy Nkunku. This is my little positive in this shit sandwich, I suppose. We didn't buy him to put goals past Conference League sides. That's the thing. And then another player we've already touched on, Dewsbury Hall. He won a dubious penalty. I remember nothing else. Nothing else from his game.
He gave the ball away quite a lot actually when he came on.
I could maybe he was bought as a little financial package to get Enzo Maresca. Maybe he was.
There's something going on because there's no other logical reason why we signed him.
He wasn't.
Well, Leicester were in PSR trouble, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they were. I mean, I also felt he's not a loser, but I'll mention him. I felt sorry for Chukwuemeka because this could have been a really good game for him. He didn't start,
didn't do enough,
and then he came on and he missed an easy shot, and it was and
finish.
it was like, oh, and
I'm kind
not
of
a loser, but he was just it must suck not to have started that.
I want to give him a tiny bit of benefit of the doubt because he's barely played any football this season.
Yeah,
so,
that is true. That is true.
You know, give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. But
yeah.
I mean, to be honest, anyone should have been able to look good against Noah. Anyone.
Right.
You could have put one of us on.
Oh, on that note, Chris, who's your second loser?
I've got Maresca, but not for the reason that you think.
What is the reason that we think, by the way? Because
what is the reason?
The last year,
not anything that he's done or did in the game.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay,
fair enough.
Allowing us to turn up.
No, because as a coach, when you've got players who you don't know whether to bring into the first team, you want to see them in competitive games. Like he's learned nothing about these players in this game, nothing at all, because whether you played well or bad, it doesn't really make a difference. Like if you played bad, there would be questions asked. But you know, Joao Felix, I thought was really good, but there is absolutely no way that has put him in his thinking for Sunday against Arsenal because he's played against.
Nor should it.
He's played against
nobody.
Nobody.
Come on, it's Ollie saying this. Come on.
From a coach's point of view, if you was to ask him, he would rather be playing these players in more competitive games against harder teams and maybe not winning the game, but at least he's seeing how these players are in real games. And then you know whether they're ready to come into the first team or a system that they can work in,
real game.
how they work in. It's not a real game. It's not a real game. Honestly, I was actually quite looking forward to the Conference League this year, but
were you?
I actually think we as a club being in this competition are actually harming the competition.
I actually agree with that because
I'm actually with you on that.
If one team does beat us and knocks us out, massive scalp for them, right?
Yeah. No,
I was hyping up Fiorentina and they went and lost last night too. Was it Apoel Nicosia? I think it was.
Yeah, but if that's the standard,
didn't see that coming.
If that's the standard, then I mean, come on.
But I was starting to think last night I don't even know whether the Premier League should have a place in this competition, because whoever finishes 6th, 7th, 8th in the Premier League is going to be the best team in the competition, hands down.
Yeah.
You know,
the most amount of money, most amount of resources.
You know what? I'll elaborate on that. I actually think if the winner of the Championship was to go in this league, I think they'd be close.
I think they should give the winner of the Johnston's Paint Trophy a Conference League spot.
I'm actually looking at the teams in the Conference League right now, and like we've always said, the best teams are us by a mile. Then it's Fiorentina. Then I'd say Real Betis. I would have said FC Copenhagen, but they're having an awful tournament so far. So, and that's not me being biased. I just genuinely think they're actually a decent team. But
it comes down though to the fact that we've got too much money to be in this competition.
Oh yeah.
So like, you look at Fiorentina, and you could argue, they're probably too good for this competition as well. But at the same
evidently
time,
not if they've lost in it.
Yeah, well,
and if you look at the money that Italian clubs have, they have none. So they don't have infinite resources to go and put out a second string team that can walk this competition. If our B team wins this competition, it'll be the worst thing to happen for the entire competition. It will lose all credibility if our B team wins it.
I'm just looking at the preview, like the semi-finalists last year with Villa, Olympiacos, Fiorentina, and Club Brugge.
Yeah, that seems a bit of a stronger lineup, that doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, it does.
And the year before that was West Ham won it, didn't they? So West Ham, Fiorentina, AZ Alkmaar, and
the
FC
thing
Basel.
is though, if say a West Ham win it, or a Fiorentina win it, or a Club Brugge win it, or FC Basel win it, that's a great scout because it's a European trophy.
Yeah.
Which is what it was meant to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's an amazing achievement for them. And to be fair, my second loser was this tournament, just for simple fact is, like, if Chelsea win it, like Chris said, it's just, you're expected to win it. There's no specialty in it. If someone like an Apple Nicosia win it, that's an amazing achievement. If someone from the Armenian League wins it, those fans will never ever forget it. The problem is when you have a team like a Chelsea, and it could be some other team other than Chelsea, like an AC Milan or someone like that, win this competition and win it, it takes everything away from those teams.
You know what would be easier?
No, go on, Chris.
What I was just thinking then, what would be easier than, instead of saying you can't, don't give a place to a Premier League team, because to be fair, that would have been unfair then on West Ham. Why don't you just give it to the highest ranked Premier League team with the lowest UEFA coefficient?
Well, it's the thing. If someone like a Brighton was sent to this competition and win it, that would be unbelievable for Brighton.
But you'd end up giving it to last season. You'd probably give it to Luton, so they've never been in Europe or whatever. Like, right?
I honestly.
But that's probably a decent competition for that, isn't it?
If you, and I'm not taking the piss here, if you gave it to the winner of the Championship, a Leeds, a Sheffield United, a Burnley, whoever won it, and put them in the Europa Conference
League, they give it a go,
next
wouldn't
year,
they? They give it a good go.
I'm telling you now, they would not be far off winning it.
Yeah,
they would not.
Do you know the one thing that that frustrates me about this for the smaller teams who are in it as well is that, like, it's a UEFA competition and the money's good for doing well in it. And like, I think I remember reading something that, like, when West Ham won it, they got something like, it wasn't an insignificant amount of money. It was like somewhere between like sort of 27 and 40 million, something like that. So it's equivalent to sort of like what we would get for like a shirt sponsor, right? But that is life-changing money to some of those clubs in there. Like, you know, like if Noah did go on and win it, that's like what, probably 20 times what their whole teams were.
Oh yeah, they'd be celebrating on the top deck of the Ark.
Exactly.
It'd be incredible.
On Mount Ararat.
Have we all gone for? Have we all said two losers so far?
I've got one more.
Yeah.
Right, Ollie, who's your second loser then?
It's similar to Chris's one. I put learning because we learned absolutely fuck all from this game. absolutely nothing, because you can't take any stock in absolutely anything that happened whatsoever. You know, like, because we're like we've had in this discussion, we're too good for this competition, so you can't really get any actual information that's useful out of it. It would be like it's like if you do put Chelsea in like the Johnston Paint Trophy or whatever. Yeah, you score a lot of goals and you'll have a good time, but it's like What do you learn? Nothing.
You know what? I'm really glad that you've sort of gone with that, because that sums up my second and final loser. Overhyping this performance.
Yeah.
The reaction to this game
Jesus
is on
Christ.
every single football fan can be guilty of. We can getting a bit carried away, and I'm not going to name names of players in this particular loser section.
Enzo Fernandez.
No. I am just going to state.
He's right though.
Take that back. He got
stated-
3 assists.
I love how someone went, "Oh, you're hating on him." No, I was just taking the piss out of the Rodri thing. It was a joke. Anyway, I'm gonna state an overall picture. We won 8-0. That is awesome. 8 goals in any game is outstanding. The expectation was at least 4 or 5 before kickoff, due to obviously the quality in the sides and Chris's expectation he'd set for the team. But we put 8. We did, like I said, 8 past any team's impressive. But we cannot suddenly think anyone in this B squad is an instant starter for Arsenal. I said in my winners that we had a treble of players to watch in terms of Premier League minute consideration. Notice I said minute and not starts.
Yeah.
We need to stay calm, because just because you can boil pasta doesn't mean you're ready for a Michelin star. And last night, like you said, we learnt nothing. Yeah, Enzo got a hat-trick assists. That's awesome, and I'm not knocking it. But that doesn't. It was against a team that the quality. They're not. If you put FC Noah in the Premier League, would they break the? Was it Sheffield United who had the record?
Derby.
Was it still Derby?
Yeah.
Would they beat that record? I would almost say yes, because the defending was.
They wouldn't win a game.
They wouldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't win a game.
No,
They
That's
wouldn't
the
win a
thing.
single game.
they wouldn't win a game in the Championship.
This is why I'm not being cruel on Nkunku. I think he's a top quality player, but we didn't learn anything. And
I don't know, Mike. You have something for Nkunku that,
Yeah.
Is he my new Mudryk? Is he my new Mudryk?
I think so. Yeah.
He's your Enzo Fernandez.
No, I'd be sad if we sold him. Enzo
Would
Fernandez.
you? Would you?
Yeah, I would be. Honestly, I would be sad. I would.
That's not what he was saying last night, is it, Beth?
No, definitely won't.
Look, I just, like I said, we didn't learn anything. And I've seen people overhyping it, going, Enzo has to start Sunday. Why? No one should be starting from that B team unless there's an injury.
Agreed.
Well, to be fair, Mikey, like my third loser was expectations. And that it kind of leads onto that, like, people that have watched that game think Enzo Fernandez has to start now and is the best midfielder in the league. It's just not right. He shouldn't start over Labia and Cossade because he hasn't been that good in the league. Mudryk shouldn't start. Nkunku shouldn't start over Jackson. It's just like, you cannot expect these players to perform well against, respectfully, not a very good side, and then start. Now, I like all the players that started last night, and they all played well. No one played badly. That's why I've not really got any players in my losers list. You can't expect them to now start because they had a good game against Noah in the Armenian League. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to lower expectations a little bit. If Enzo Fernandez comes on and plays well against Arsenal on Sunday,
Awesome.
then there we go. Brilliant. Fantastic. Love it.
100%.
Then he can potentially start the next game. Same as Nkunku, same as Mudryk. But you can't have them starting now because Palmer's been unbelievable. Jackson's been unbelievable. Caicedo's been unbelievable. Lavia's been one of the best midfielders in the league. So you cannot just then, as soon as we beat a team 8-0 and go, let's start all of them. It's just impossible. You can't do it.
We learned, like you've all said, we didn't learn anything, and it's not knocking. Oh, you got a narrative against any player. No, it's just we know what the expectation was last night.
If you wanted to sum the game up, it's our worst 8-0 win ever.
You know what? Yeah, it probably not because of how we play, but because
That
it
phrase
didn't
sums
really.
you up, Chris.
Oh,
It does, but I do.
But I'm right.
I do.
You are right.
Yeah, he is right. It doesn't really.
Remember when we beat Wigan 8-0? 09-10
on the
Yeah.
final
Yeah.
day of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a real win.
I would
All
say
right,
that
Chris,
the
mate.
8-0 against Villa.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8-0 against Villa. So I'm definitely right. This is our worst ever 8-0.
Yeah, but what-
I remember
so
when
my point-
Hazard
It's also
my
our
point
first
last night,
8-0
though.
win since
my
Bagwell,
point last night, though,
Yeah.
and the reason why I had Chris as a loser is because, like, even though, yes, the game didn't really mean that much and it was against a shit opposition, we still won 8-0, so you can still be happy.
Not Chris.
Okay. All right, then just wrap up the podcast now, then, shall we? Let's just go on now.
Isn't that mad that we got 2 8-0s within that period? I mean, we beat Norwich 7-0 a few years ago. I remember that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
good.
but Mason Mount scored, so Chris hates it because of that. And
He did.
Yeah,
our striker didn't
scored out, Chris, I think.
Our striker didn't score. Kai Havertz didn't score, so he hated that. So just Chris is just the moodiest bastard in the
Right, who's got some losers left?
No,
I'm all out.
left.
I've got one left.
Chris,
fucking do.
come on, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I've got the B team.
The whole team, the 1-8-0.
Yeah, again.
whole 11.
Again.
I want to point out, right, at the moment, Chris has the manager and the whole team 1-8-0.
Did we
Again.
hang on? Did we win last night? I can't tell.
Not for the reason that you think. But again, I think these are players who are trying to get in the first team, but they're not they're not being given the opportunity to prove anything to the manager because they're being put against such shit opposition. So it doesn't really mean anything the way they play. I think if we was in the Europa League, I think actually that competition would have been really good for the B team because
you win a game in the Europa
better
League 8-0, then it's a statement if nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you're playing better teams, and if players performed in that, then you would be thinking, oh, actually, they could start against, a Fulham, a Leicester, a Bournemouth, Brighton. That they can compete at that level. Like the B team are actually in a really bad position now, where whenever they get to play, they're only going to play against opposition that they should beat. So no one's going to really pay any attention to it, including the manager. So they're actually in a terrible position now in terms of being able to get into the first team.
But I suppose it's more than just the games itself, isn't it? It's how they conduct themselves in training and all the rest of it.
Yeah. They're hoping for injuries, aren't they? Let's be fair.
Yeah, they are.
Right. What's your emoji? Is there an arc emoji? Because I'd love to have picked that.
To be honest with you, my emoji is a laughing emoji because it's 8-0 and it's just like, this is just ridiculous, really.
I've never seen someone so upset to win
8-0. Yeah. Chris is probably the crying emoji. Oh, we won 8-0.
No, I honestly I'd just shrug it.
Shrug.
I'll go with the shrug.
Yeah,
imagine my surprise that you've picked that, Chris. Imagine.
I'm sorry, Berth. Yeah, you're right. Hold on. I'm going to go with the massive smile because what a game. With our B team.
I am glad you went smile then and nothing else, by the way.
Our B team's better than any other team in the league. Our B team would get top 4. That's how good they are.
Really? Well, top 4 in what league? 1?
Now you're talking, Chris. Come
National
on.
League?
Conference League.
In the Armenian League.
Right. Right. I guess. Oh, Ollie, go on.
I was going to go goal emoji because we got 8 of them, for fuck's sake.
That's a bit boring, Ollie. That's boring.
Yeah. Sorry, I should just shrug instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, go on then. Yeah, fair enough.
Join me.
Lion of the midweek. We'll check in on the picks. I'll tell you what, the wheel had Jorgensen. He kept a clean sheet. They can't give him. Ollie, you had Mark Yu. I had Christopher Nkunku. I think the Chris's here have done it. I think Chris and Berth, it's between them. Berth had Mudryk. Chris had Felix. I'll let you fight it out. I'll go whoever.
I think it was Felix.
Felix got man of the match on the Chelsea poll. So I'll give.
Did he? Okay.
Chris.
Yeah,
Chris is fuming at that, by the way. Chris is so angry.
Who was the actual man of the match?
Felix,
who would you give? Would you give it
Felix? Felix got it on the Chelsea website. I think that's how you should judge it.
I think
Chelsea give the man of the match to Felix.
My rogue shout of Mark Yu could have been perfect if he played 2 halves.
Yeah,
but he didn't, Ollie. So
Yeah, it's got some maybes.
You can tell that
fucking Maresca.
Yeah, he's a loser now. Cost me one of the midweek.
I've got to put Joao Felix into the actual little thing because he wasn't on the list. Because it must have been when we did the spreadsheet. Well, I did. So we're taking on Arsenal. I haven't wrote down if it's at home or not. I'm going to just let you guys tell me.
It's at home.
It's at home. That's always good. So we don't know if Palmer's going to be fit. So I will be. Did I actually pick? I think I did write one name down earlier and I forgot. I don't.
I'm going Caicedo.
I could see that.
Nice.
I could see that.
I'm going Caicedo.
I'm going to go with Cucurella. I think he's going to play to keep to try and keep Saka quiet. I think
I like that. I like that.
There must have been a reason why he didn't play yesterday.
I like that. I like that.
I'm gonna go with
Mark Q.
yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Part of me really wanted to give it to Robert Sanchez, but I'm not gonna.
Unlucky wheel.
Who's they gone with?
Kiernan Dewsbury Hall.
Ooh.
No.
Unlucky wheel.
I'm gonna give it to Neto.
Oh, cheeky.
I like it.
You're going to be blown away when I say Christopher. It's not him. I'm going to go with Jackson. I'm going to go with Nicholas Jackson. He seems to step up. I'm hopeful.
Is it the Conference League at the moment? It's making all of our weekend games on a Sunday instead of a Saturday.
Yeah,
probably.
So,
yeah.
Must be right.
Yeah.
So we can get the rest.
Did you know it's an international break next week?
Oh, fuck
Oh,
you. Fuck you, Mikey.
You know what's hilarious? I didn't know until, I swear this is true, on my phone the other day, it popped up and it said Denmark have announced their squad. And I just thought, why have they announced a squad? I don't know why they've announced
the creeping horror.
And then I saw why, and I was like, oh no.
Oh
God.
That means we've got to come up with something for you lot listeners.
We need to do a cult hero again. I think a cult hero.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, I think cult hero.
I will go to Quaresma's questions. First up, NJ Brandt. One of Mudryk's few goals is against Arsenal. Should he start?
No, don't be so stupid.
Come off the bench though.
John, did Thiago Silva's leadership help our keeper's performance last year? Yeah,
yes.
I feel so. Yeah, because
he helped
100%,
everyone.
yes.
Helped everybody.
Well, he kept clearing it off the line.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Just that experience, though, to be fair. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh, Vic's come in with a classic. Good question here. If Cole Palmer can't start against Arsenal, who would you guys start in his place?
I think it'll be Enzo. And that I wouldn't start him as a 10, but I think I wouldn't start him as a 10. Hear me out. I wouldn't start him as a 10, but I think he'll start a flat 3 in midfield.
I think the wheel's right. I think it's Dewsbury Hall.
I think he'd play. I think he'd play Felix.
Or I would play Felix after.
Okay, I can't wait for
Thursday.
Enzo's going to start now, and I guarantee it.
Okay. Finally, Rob. Good day, gentlemen. Who are the actual centre-back targets Chelsea could go for in the January window?
Good day,
Anyone
Rob.
who can win a header. Anyone who could win a header.
Someone
nice.
Someone on the right side who's tall and quick, and that's kind of all we need.
And experienced.
I would still like Ruben Diaz. I mean, there was rumours.
You're not going to get Diaz.
I don't think you get him in January either.
He'd be our best defender though.
What
he would be.
Yeah,
what about we've got Mark Gue? What about Mark Gue? Or
I'd take Gay back. I'd take Gay back.
I'd take Gay, but I don't think he'd move.
I'd take Tomori back.
Yeah. Either of them two.
I'm not sure I would take Tomori back.
There's one player that we seem to actually be linked with, and that's Murillo of Forest.
Yeah, that's kind of underwhelming. Apparently, I've not seen a lot of Forest play. Apparently, he's pretty good, but it is an underwhelming.
I'll tell you what. I'd take Chris Wood at the minute.
Yeah, I actually would as well.
As a centre back.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? At least he's tall.
Right. Well, I guess it's Lone Army time. Oh yes. Now, I just want to point this out that since we are in November, I thought I'd just share that we started.
Also, can I just say, by the way, I'm against time here because I've got 2% left on my phone, so I'm really against time.
We'll be quick.
Now.
So
if I'm out, then that's why.
I thought I'd just share that we started tracking it all the way back at the start of the calendar year, in which the first winner was Ubirth on the 12th of January. After today, there are only 7 more Fridays left of the year, and the winner will be crowned on the 28th of December, unless it's mathematically theirs before. Birth's on 8, Ollie's on 10, Chris is on 12, so he's got a nice little lead.
I've got an asterisk on mine now, though, because I've missed a lot of Friday shows.
Do not.
It's your fault.
That's not our problem.
No, I'm not.
Best ability is availability, isn't it?
Yeah, I am Reece James of the Friday show. I get that.
Yeah.
We do not care.
Right, the category is MLS Cup Champions. The MLS Cup final is the closest thing that soccer in the US and Canada has to Super Bowl.
This is going to be the shortest competition.
Can you name every MLS club that's got their hands on that trophy? There are 16 names. And because Berth's got barely any battery, Berth can go first, then Ollie, then Chris.
Into Miami.
He's out straight away.
Wow, brilliant.
They haven't even got this could be their first. But Ollie?
I was going to go with LA Galaxy.
They are on the list. Berth
I
is
could
now
literally
out.
name everyone, but yeah, brilliant.
DC United.
Yes. I don't know when
Wow.
they did it. Yeah.
How have Inter
I'll-
Miami not won it, but everyone else has?
Seattle
might this year.
Sounders.
Oh, yes.
Atlanta.
Atlanta United are on there.
New York City FC.
Have
New York
every
City
team won it
FC.
other than Inter Miami? Yeah. Am I? No, is this bullshit?
Yes.
16 teams. 16 teams have won it.
Did Ollie say LA Galaxy?
Nah, he didn't.
He
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 didn't, Chris.
did indeed.
Say it.
Then I'll go with just Los Angeles.
LAFC are on the list.
I'm going to go with Columbus Crew.
Columbus Crew
Yeah,
are
it's
on the
bullshit.
list.
Real Salt Lake.
Rail Salt
Course,
Lake are on the list.
Disgrace.
Chicago Fire.
Chicago Fire.
Yeah, well,
are
imagine
indeed
my
on the list.
surprise.
That's human.
Portland Timbers.
Portland
Yeah, of course
Timbers
they
are on
are.
the list.
I'm just
Literally
naming
every
MLS
team.
teams.
Literally
Same.
every team.
Honestly,
You
Everything
are
in the
risking it now.
Same. San Jose Earthquakes.
Yeah,
They're on the
shock.
list.
What a surprise.
2003.
Yeah,
Toronto.
they're going to be on it.
Toronto
Yeah,
are on
yeah.
the list. Yeah.
Birth, you mean?
Houston
yeah, they're gonna be on
Dynamo.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah,
Wow.
Any
2007.
state in America, Chris.
how many
you've got it.
more?
Other than Miami.
Any state in America.
Colorado
Yeah,
Rapids.
wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
You've got two more
Yeah.
teams left. Is it going to be a
Brilliant.
perfect sweep?
I was going to go with Sporting Kansas
Okay.
City.
Yeah,
They are indeed on the list. Technically, one
Yeah, it's
more
not
team
Miami.
remain.
I'll tell you that one.
Technically, though I don't know. We might have a VAR check on it.
How am I out
Um,
here, by the way? This is ridiculous. I
You
can't
fucked
believe
it,
I've
Bert,
actually
to be
spotted
honest. You did it me. Where's the comeback?
Oh,
Yeah,
Mikey?
Mikey, come on, mate.
I feel
Yeah.
like okay.
No,
I'm
no,
going to
no,
pause
no,
and
no.
say, oh, hang on. There's a reason. Sporting Kansas City were rebranded because they used to be the Kansas
well,
City
no
Wizards.
one's going to know that.
The
They're the
Kansas
same
City
team then,
Wizards
aren't they?
also won.
They're the
So-
same team.
Yeah, that is true. You know what? I'll do the tiebreaker then. We actually have a tiebreaker, listener.
Oh,
I've had
thank
this on
God.
for over a bloody year when we had former blue. So this will be interesting.
Jesus.
Ollie and Chris have got to give me, to the nearest number, how many appearances did Branislav Ivanovic make for Chelsea across all competitions? This is according to Transfermarkt.
Okay.
Ollie had the last answer, so I think it's only fair that he gets the first shout. Closest
Yeah.
number wins.
I'll give it to him.
I'm going to go with 260.
That's low,
260
you know. I think
goes.
that's low, by the way. I think that's
Yeah,
low.
I think that's low. I'm gonna go with 300 and
Yeah, I think that's
50.
more likely. That's more likely.
Oh, Chris has claimed it.
Well done,
Because
Chris.
The correct answer, and I need to get a new tiebreaker, is
Yeah, I thought-
377.
yeah.
Oh, it's close as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
And before Berth's phone dies, quick Hazard's headliners for you. It's a person in the news or player, whatever. They get easy, the clues do. First clue, he scored a goal in the 2012 Olympic Games and was also selected in the 2020 Olympic Games squad. He is his country's leading goal scorer. At club level, he has played with Glenn Murray, Rob Green, Peter Crouch, and Chris Brunt. He was the 2016-17 Championship top scorer with 27 goals for Leeds.
No, carry on.
And fifth and final clue, which should give it away. He is a two-time
Chris
New
Wood.
Zealand Player of the Year winner. It's Chris
Yeah.
Wood, which you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier. And I
thought
always
it was
panic
Chris
when you
Wood.
do
I
that.
think it was Chris Wood. Yeah.
He played with Murray at Brighton, Rob Green at Leeds, Crouch at Burnley, and Brunt at West Brom. And it's because he's the first player in Forest history to win the Premier League Player of the Month.
Big up
award.
Chrissy
So well
Wood.
done.
Big up Chrissy
Well
Wood.
done, Chris. Oh, yes.
Who was the
Right.
who was the one team we missed?
Yeah,
in
no one
the,
cares about Lone Army
in,
Carousel.
Lone
Anyway,
Army?
it's a Mickey Mouse competition.
said
Anyway, Ollie, so let's move
Sporting.
on.
I said it's the Kansas City Wizards. And
Okay.
essentially the same team.
Really?
so-
The New England Revolution never won it.
No.
I'll tell you
That was gonna be
another
my
team
next one,
that.
so I'm glad
I'll tell
we
you
gave
another
the
team who hasn't
tiebreaker.
won it. Inter Miami, Ollie.
They might win it
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
New England Revolution.
Maybe
Let me
France
just
has
quick-
been said.
Brilliant.
You know what's funny? New England Revolution
quality.
have made. New England Revolution have been in 5 MLS Cup
Inter
finals.
Miami haven't
not
won one either. So
Wow.
Bottle drops.
They are.
Yeah.
They are something. Right.
But
Thank
just
you.
be happy.
Oh my word, gold. Right, gold. Listeners, we're at the end of another episode. Thank you as always for listening. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Monday with our winners and losers from Chelsea and Arsenal. So till next time, that will be us signing off. You've been listening to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At the Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.